Breaking on 4 News now, heartbreak in Wenatchee as 3 young sisters are all found dead. Now the search is on for the alleged killer, their father. The latest on the manhunt and why an Amber Alert was never sent out.
I'm tracking sunny skies, a warming trend, and possibly the first stretch of 90-degree heat in the first alert forecast.
Raccoons, squirrels, and owls will show you why the WSU Vet School looks more like Noah's Ark and how volunteers are helping with an influx of wild animals. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
We're breaking new details in the murder of 3 young sisters from Wenatchee allegedly killed by their own father. Within the last hour, we've learned more about why Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia's mother feared for their lives when her ex-husband didn't bring them home last Friday. We've also learned more about their potential cause of death. And we do want to warn you, some of the details in the story may be hard to hear. Thanks so much for joining us, though. I'm Derek Dice.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. The manhunt is now on for 32-year-old Travis Decker. The girls' bodies were found near Decker's truck that investigators tracked down to the Rock Island campground about 18 miles west of Leavenworth. Madeline Mullins joins us now in studio with the breaking new details.
Tonight, the Wenatchee community is grieving the loss of these 3 young girls while the search is on for their killer, a search that's been taking place since Friday night. The search for the 3 Decker sisters ended on Monday night when their bodies were found at the Rock Island campground. Using a helicopter from Homeland Security, the white pickup truck owned by their father, Travis Decker, was found, and about 75 yards from there, the bodies of the girls were discovered. Each had a plastic bag over their head and zip ties around their wrists. Other zip ties and plastic bags were found in the area, and 2 bloody handprints were found on the tailgate of the truck. A preliminary examination shows the cause of death was asphyxiation. The search for the man suspected of these murders, their father Travis Decker, is ongoing. That search started Friday night when the girls didn't come home after a visit with their father. The sisters left with their dad for a planned visit at 5 Friday night. Their mom, Whitney Decker, telling police the handoff went smoothly, but noted that Decker seemed quieter than normal. Then at 8, when the visit was supposed to come to an end per a parenting plan, and Whitney could not reach Decker, she became worried. That's when Whitney went to the police. Court documents show that Whitney says he had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and that she believes at the time he was not taking his medication. Now, the community is mourning the loss of these 3 girls.
Wenatchee is very much a tight-knit community, and our school community at Lincoln is also a very tight community, and the girls were very well known and beloved at school, so that's been a difficult thing in the wake of this tragedy.
Law enforcement is asking for the public's help to find Travis Decker, who is wanted for the murder of his 3 daughters. Police say he has military training, and while it's unknown if he is armed, he could be dangerous. And the Chelan County Sheriff's Office says it is searching the Okanogan-Wenatchee National Forest, as well as following any credible tips they receive. And a $20,000 reward is also being offered to anyone that has tips that will lead to Decker's arrest. If you have any information about where Decker is, you're asked to call 911. In studio, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
As the search continues for Decker, many are wondering why an Amber Alert was not sent out when the girls were missing.
It's because there's very specific criteria for an Amber Alert, and they're actually pretty rare. In Washington, only 4 Amber Alerts were sent out in all of 2022. That's according to the Department of Justice. For an Amber Alert to be sent out, all 3 of the following criteria need to be met. First, the child is known to have been abducted, is not a runaway or thrown away from home. Second, the child is believed to be in danger of imminent death or serious bodily injury. And finally, enough information needs to be available that an Amber Alert would help recover the child. That includes where the child was abducted, a description of the child and the abductor, and their vehicle. If that criteria is not met, law enforcement can instead follow the Endangered Missing Person Advisory Plan. To see the difference between that and an Amber Alert, find the story on our website, KXLY.com.
And in less than an hour, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office will be holding a press conference where we hope to learn more about the manhunt. Be sure to download the 4 News Now app and turn on push notifications. We will send out breaking news alerts about this case right to your phone.
All right, let's send it over to Chris Crocker now with a look at your first alert forecast. Chris?
A pretty evening across the inland northwest with partly cloudy skies. Our high temperatures today just a little above average and a little bit warmer than yesterday. More 70s on the map, 73 in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. It was 70 today in Sandpoint. Stayed in the 60s in Bonners Ferry and even had a couple of isolated showers up in the mountains of North Idaho. Meanwhile, tomorrow's highs will be in the 70s and 80s as our warming trend continues. 83 in Omak, Grand Coulee, and Moses Lake, 80 degrees in Ritzville, and 84 in Lewiston, right around the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. 80 in downtown Spokane and almost 80 in 9 Mile, Meade, and Spokane Valley. In your Wednesday planner, 54 degrees to start the day. We're heading up to a high of 77. 71 is our average high. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, President Donald Trump is ramping up his attacks on Republican senators who oppose his spending bill. That includes Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. The president accusing him of voting no on everything, saying the senator has very little understanding of the bill.
I am for a lot of the bill, but I can't in good conscience give up every principle that I stand for and every principle that I was elected upon, and that's that we can't accumulate more debt.
The current version of the bill promises $1.5 trillion in spending cuts. Those include billions of dollars in cuts to SNAP and Medicaid.
The bill has already cleared the House, and one congressman who supported the bill is Eastern Washington Representative Michael Baumgartner. In the last hour, dozens of local medical workers
I went to her today. She goes.
took to the streets of downtown Spokane to protest these cuts. And cuts to Medicaid will affect people with disabilities, the elderly, and low-income families. Many of the protesters are worried about family members with pre-existing conditions. Caregivers here say Medicaid needs strengthening right now instead of cuts. They're disappointed Representative Baumgartner voted against the interests of his constituents. Our Derek Strom reached out to the representative for comment, but he has not heard back. The former congresswoman who held Baumgartner's seat for 20 years is opening a new nonprofit in Spokane to inspire the next generation of political leaders.
Kathy McMorris Rogers says her Leadership Institute was founded on building a stronger, united nation and promoting acts of kindness. She released a statement saying, quote, "We must cultivate leaders who understand the power of freedom, the conviction of faith, and possess the moral clarity to confront today's challenges with strength and courage." To see what programs will be available at the Institute, head to KXLY.com.
Well, protests at the podium following a local transgender athlete winning a state track and field title.
Coming up, their message, the backlash, and where school officials stand. Plus, scam emails, texts, and calls. Chances are that we've all gotten one, maybe even this week. How to spot the red flags and protect your money before it's too late.
Plus, a surge of sick and injured wildlife, while Washington State University's veterinary hospital is seeing record numbers, and what you should do if you see a wild animal in need.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
4 News Now is brought to you by Findlay Downtown Toyota.
If the name wasn't obvious enough, the DQ Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket is tossed in your choice of Honey Barbecue, our new Buffalo. That means layers of flavor from the top, bottom, left, right, inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Delicious from every angle. That's the Sauce and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket, available in Honey Barbecue, our new Buffalo. Hurry in and try them today, only at DQ.
Spokane Riverkeeper and the Salish School of Spokane are connecting kids with the Spokane River. Through hands-on river science, kids are learning to protect the water.
We protect and restore the Spokane River for future generations. These students carry the language and history of the land, and their voice reminds us why this work matters.
Numerica is honored to donate $2,500 to Spokane Riverkeeper and Salish School of Spokane. This is how Numerica cares for kids.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping.
commitment to you begins the moment you drive off the lot in your new vehicle.
We have more Toyota Master Diagnostic technicians than anyone in the Northwest.
That means our technicians are the most experienced at identifying and fixing any mechanical issues, ensuring that your Toyota receives the care it deserves.
Open 7 days a week. Call or go online to schedule your appointment at parkertoyota.com.
With Dupixent, stay ahead of moderate to severe eczema as you welcome the feeling of touch with clearer skin and less itch. The #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists helps heal your skin from within. Severe allergic reactions can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
I know. Oh, that is one of many baby raccoons making its way into Washington State University's veterinary teaching hospital as the clinic faces a wave of injured and orphaned wildlife in need of urgent care. This comes after the hospital experienced a record-breaking year for wild animal patient intake.
Our Alexandra Cohen-Yards joins us from Pullman with how the university is coping and what you can do to help.
These little baby raccoons came from the Spokane area.
While the inland Northwest is rich in wildlife, there are very few places equipped to care for rescued animals, forcing this group of baby raccoons to travel over an hour to get help.
There are a couple others over here on the east side, but most of them tend to specialize in one or a few species, and we are generalists, so we will take in any wildlife that comes in that needs help.
After more than a decade at WSU's veterinary teaching hospital, Dr. Logston has seen just about everything. But the past 2 years have been especially tough, with the hospital seeing record numbers of animals in need.
That was due in part to the closure of another wildlife rehab facility in central Washington.
That's brought in animals from as far as the Tri-Cities and treating 400 more patients last year than usual.
It's been really busy. We've been getting a lot of wildlife in.
Right now, the team is caring for about 15 different species, from baby raccoons to squirrels to owls.
We have around 25 or 30 animals in care. It's a high number, but they definitely are all at different levels of their rehabs.
Once a bird of prey reaches its rehabilitation phase, it is brought here to the Raptor facility. It is taken care of and then prepared to be released back out into the wild. However, unfortunately, only 30 to 40% of animals make it to that point.
That's because of severe injuries, many caused by humans. So what should you do if you find an animal that needs help? Step 1.
Reaching out and calling your local wildlife rehabber, whether that's us or somebody, if you're out of this area, there might be somebody closer to you.
That's especially important before picking the animal up, because sometimes it might not even be orphaned. The best way to know is to ask a specialist. You can find WSU's contact info on KXLY.com. Reporting from Pullman, Alexandra Cohen-Yards, 4 News Now.
Well, Washington State agencies want to remind drivers to tie down their cargo before hitting the road.
It's part of its annual Secure Your Load campaign. This month, troopers will be cracking down on unsecured cargo, which caused over 300 crashes and 32 injuries last year. Free cargo nets and ratchet straps will be handed out in several counties. Fines for violations can reach up to $5,000.
Open up the windows and cool down the house. We'll be dropping into the 60s by 9 o'clock tonight with light winds and mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Things are heating up in the 7-day forecast. I'll tell you all about it after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Wonders of the World.
I'm Drew Henry, tea maker and founder of Revival Tea Company, and we're right here at Yolks Fresh Market. We started in 2018 in Spokane. We are super proud of getting our peppermint from Washington State, our honey from bees in Spokane. We've collaborated with Dry Fly and turned into canned cocktails. We definitely would not be where we're at today without the support from some amazing local partners like Yolks. Oh yeah, the more and more we can work together, that's been a really fun thing as we continue to grow.
Check out Revival Tea at Yolks Fresh Market. Your home is more than a place, it's a feeling, a reflection of who you are. And at the Tin Roof, we believe furniture should do more than fill a room. It should inspire it. From timeless dining tables to sofas you can sink into and decor that tells your story, every piece is thoughtfully curated to make your space feel effortlessly you. Because it's not just furniture, it's where memories are made, where comfort lives, and where life happens. It's more than furniture, it's a feeling.
Touch can mean so many things, even for children with moderate to severe eczema. Touch can stir a sense of wonder, can make a ride go smoothly, and make a smile stretch ear to ear. Dupixent can help your child stay ahead of eczema with clearer skin and noticeably less itch. When a touch is all in good fun, Dupixent helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your child's skin from within. Severe allergic reactions can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists. Help your child feel the heal and see the difference. Reach out to your child's eczema specialist today.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
Well, on your screen right now are some of the players in this year's Stanley Pup. If you couldn't tell, this furry matchup is in honor of the Stanley Cup, much like the Puppy Bowl that takes place every year before the Super Bowl. Current and former NHL players will introduce 32 adorable rescue dogs, each representing an NHL team. I want to see the Kraken's representative. They'll show off their skills on the ice this Friday before Game 2 between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers.
Troy Terrier. They've got some great names. Got to go back and look at all those little. Those are so sweet.
Yeah, pretty great. All right, Chris Crocker joining us here once again, and you're saying first extended stretch of the 90s this year.
Yes, heading up into the 90s in the 7-day forecast. We still have a few days to enjoy the comfort zone, though, as we continue our gradual warming trend this week. 4 things to know about your weather. Mostly to partly sunny and dry. It is going to be a hot graduation weekend, the first 90s of the season by Sunday, possibly even Saturday, and that will extend into the start of next work week. Today, temperatures have been in the 70s in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Right now, 71 in Spokane, 68 in Coeur d'Alene. A fair amount of clouds over the region, blocking our late day sunshine, and we've had a few isolated showers over the mountains of northeast Washington and North Idaho, but those clouds will be clearing out later tonight. This is our visible satellite. You could tell the sun is getting lower in the sky, and the clouds are thinning out a little bit as well. And they are moving through on a northwesterly flow, and we are going to continue to see that for the next few days, but it will begin to be high pressure will begin taking over, tracking our weather pattern. Strong high pressure off the coast this week, and then as we get into the weekend, here's Sunday at 4 o'clock, that high pressure becomes centered right over the northwestern United States, and we are looking for the warmest weather of the season so far. So far, we have hit 88 degrees, but it does look like we are headed into the 90s. Here's a look at our high temperature trend over the next 7 days. This white line is our average high, which is 71 today. It will be up to 72 by this time next week. We're going to be at 77 tomorrow. Then into the 80s starting Thursday. Saturday, awfully close to 90 degrees, 89. That will be our warmest day of the season so far. But then we are up into the 90s for Sunday and Monday, 88 degrees on Tuesday. It is a little bit early for 90-degree heat. Here's the average day of our first 90s. And a couple of these spots have already had their first 90-degree day. But Spokane, it's June 19th. just a couple of days before the first day of summer, the summer solstice. In Pullman, it's not until June 20th, Bonners Ferry, June 27th, and Priest River, July 1st. Many of these locations will make it into the 90s by the second half of the weekend. Your planning forecast: no precipitation. This is not precipitation. These are graduation caps flying, because it is a big graduation weekend, not only for Spokane Public Schools, but a lot of the Valley schools and schools throughout the surrounding areas. If your celebrations are outside, the news is good. You don't have to rent the tent or make an indoor other plan, because there is no sign of rain. It may get a little breezy on Friday. We'll be tracking that as it gets closer to time. Kirsten.
Just make sure you have ice in the cooler.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Crystal. And news for your health tonight: it is one of the most common cancers in the U.S. For men, about 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, according to the American Cancer Society.
If found early, prostate cancer is often highly treatable before it spreads. But who should get screened and when can be confusing?
PSA screening is so complicated because different organizations have come out with their own thoughts on what that screening interval should be and shouldn't be.
Dr. Mitchell Humphreys with Mayo Clinic says most organizations agree that men at average risk should get their screening between the ages of 55 and 69. It's a blood test known as prostate-specific antigen, or PSA. But he says the decision to start screening should be made between the patient and their doctor based on risk. Those more likely to develop prostate cancer include anyone with a family history of the disease, or those who may have inherited the BRCA gene that is typically linked to breast cancer.
Well, a study from the Journal of the American Medical Association looked at TikTok and Instagram posts about popular medical tests, including full-body MRIs, gut health assessments, fertility and cancer screenings, and testosterone level evaluations. These tests are often marketed to perfectly healthy people looking to learn more about their well-being or to catch diseases early on. But all medical tests come with risk, including overdiagnosis or overtreatment. 68% of people posting had a financial interest in these tests, while posts from actual doctors were more likely to mention the risks and less likely to encourage unnecessary testing. Although taking your health into your own hands is important, talking to your doctor is a valuable first step.
Still ahead, a new law could cut thousands in fees for affordable housing projects. How it's helping local nonprofits and why supporters say it's key to fixing Spokane's housing crisis.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
This week, Keanu Reeves takes on GMA.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Plus, Super Bowl champ Saquon Barkley, Sydney Sweeney, Julianne Moore, and Zoe Saldana are all live on
Buenos Dias, America.
What can we make for you today? From the Sweet Palace in Phillipsburg, Montana.
The Book of Mormon is the best musical of this century. The 9-time Tony Award winner is genius, brilliant, phenomenal. The Book of Mormon is the funniest musical of all time. It's the gold standard for comedy that goes further than any other comedy in history. You won't believe how funny it is. You won't believe how much heart it has. And when it's over, you won't believe how much you'll want to see it again. The Book of Mormon, June 3rd through 7th at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. Could they all just fade away? But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
In basketball, to have a good offense, you need to know how to read the defense.
The same is true dealing with the insurance company after a car wreck.
They'll use every trick in their playbook to pay you as little as possible.
But we know their playbook.
And play number one is the blame game.
They'll point the finger at you and blame you for the wreck.
So if you've been in a wreck,
call Russell and Hill to protect your case.
Russell and Hill will fight for you. Call 800-LAW-0842.
My feet hurt so bad in the morning, I couldn't even put my feet on the floor. So I built all this together to engineer a solution to my pain. Finally, I went to Good Feet, and they gave me this.
Good Feet arch supports, engineered for pain relief, personally fitted for you.
4 News Now is brought to you by Ziggy's Home Improvement.
A transgender athlete from East Valley High School in Spokane Valley is once again being criticized for winning the 400-meter girls state title for the second year in a row.
With one team protesting her victory shortly after that race, KOMO's Chris Daniels explains.
Outside Tumwater High, fresh off a state track meet, a group of female students posed for photos that echoed a message worn by the Thunderbird girls on the medal stand after a race on Saturday to keep women's sports female. And immediately after, East Valley High's Veronica Garcia of Spokane, who is transgender, won a title and competed in several girls' races. Garcia has been a lightning rod for criticism after winning state titles in 2024.
Why do grown-adult adults think it's okay to harass a child, let alone a transgender child?
The Tumwater girls beat Garcia's relay team in one prelim on Saturday before losing the final and finished out of contention, as did Garcia's team, in another. The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association declined to change bylaws concerning transgender athletes in April and said it was aware of the post-race incident. And Tumwater School District officials declined on-camera interviews.
Anytime these discussions rear their head, harm is done to the transgender community.
The Tumwater School Board passed a resolution earlier this year after vocal pushback to limit participation in girls' events to biological females. And that was after the district already faced a federal Department of Education investigation for hosting a game with a transgender athlete. A district spokesperson instead released a statement to KOMO News, reading in part, "We support our students' right to exercise their right to free speech and wear the shirts after their event was over, and we are working to navigate the complexities of following state and federal laws and adhering to district policies and procedures," stopping short of saying there would be any further action after the protest on the pedestal. In Tumwater, Chris Daniels, KOMO News.
In a statement, the WIAA added that it proudly represents the 225,000 student participants across the state.
In California, the Trump administration is threatening public schools in the state with fees and legal action after a transgender athlete won 2 state track and field titles over the weekend. The Department of Justice is giving the state until Monday to ban transgender athletes in girls' sports. The department says allowing them to compete is unconstitutional. It cites the 14th Amendment, which prohibits discrimination based on sex. Right now, California's Interscholastic Federation allows students to compete based on their gender identities.
Well, President Donald Trump signed an executive order today doubling the current tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from 25% to 50%.
They take effect tomorrow. In the order, the president says these will more effectively counter foreign countries that continue to offload low-priced excess steel and aluminum in the U.S. market. Critics of the tariffs say they could raise prices for products from cars to appliances, as well as construction materials and electrical equipment. But it could also raise prices on food, saying if canned foods and drinks opt to switch to plastic packaging, it will increase the prices across the grocery store.
President Trump's trade wars are having an impact on growth. That's according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which downgraded its growth forecast for the U.S. to 1.6%, down from the previous projection of 2.2%. The group cites higher tariffs, including retaliatory tariffs, and a slowdown in net immigration for the drop. The report expects the economic slowdown to be focused on the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and China. 4 News Now. We'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
For the team ready to conquer the grandest stage, immortality awaits. An unforgettable journey is nearing its finale. The NBA Finals begin Thursday on ABC.
From London to New York and around the world, from the stage to the big screen, the worldwide phenomenon returns. The original, record-breaking production returns to Spokane. Mamma Mia! Celebrate the 25th anniversary of the most exhilarating smash hit musical ever. Fall in love all over again with Mamma Mia. Coming to First Interstate Center for the Arts June 17th through 22nd. Get tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com.
Elegance, style, quality, custom made for your project. Agalite shower doors and bath enclosures by River City Glass are designed for a lifetime of use. Timeless beauty that speaks for itself with superior quality and exceptional value. Offering exquisite custom wine room enclosures and office room glass, specializing in custom mirrors crafted to fit your space. Producing high-performance glass for every project, residential and commercial. River City Glass.
From urgent AC repairs to full system replacements, Bill's Heating and AC has you covered. See why thousands of local homeowners trust us for fast, honest heating and cooling services. We offer free second opinions, a lowest price guarantee, weekend service, free equipment quotes, and upfront pricing with no surprises. So call Bill's Heating and AC today and make this summer more comfortable than ever.
Your home is more than a place, it's a feeling, a reflection of who you are. And at the Tin Roof, we believe furniture should do more than fill a room. It should inspire it. From timeless dining tables to sofas you can sink into and decor that tells your story, every piece is thoughtfully curated to make your space feel effortlessly you. Because it's not just furniture, it's where memories are made, where comfort lives, and where life happens. It's more than furniture, it's a feeling.
If you want to shine this summer and say goodbye to that winter weight, then this is the perfect time to join Move Fitness for almost $1 a day to get your body sculpted for the swimsuit season.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, we are continuing to follow the heartbreaking news out of Wenatchee. The manhunt still underway for this military veteran, 32-year-old Travis Decker. He's accused of killing his 3 daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia.
And tonight, we're learning more about the crime scene through court documents that establish probable cause to arrest Decker on murder and kidnapping charges. And because of the graphic nature, we are not going to be sharing all of the details we've learned, but we do want to warn you what you're about to hear may be disturbing. According to those court documents, the girl's mother went to police after Decker failed to return her children following a scheduled visitation. The corporal at the time didn't have enough evidence to believe the children were in danger, so an Amber Alert did not go out. Instead, they activated a search, and according to court records, Homeland Security investigations provided a helicopter to search a camping area. The girls' bodies were found not far from Decker's abandoned pickup truck. Deputies say they believe the girls died of asphyxiation.
They also found a recently used and abandoned campsite. According to parenting plans filed in Chelan County, Decker was restricted to only a few hours per day on weekends of visitation with the girls because of his recent borderline personality diagnosis and homeless situation. The hunt continues tonight for Travis Decker. A $20,000 reward is also being offered to anyone who has tips that will lead to his arrest.
Now to a scam alert from the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office. Investigators say they've received multiple reports about scammers pretending to be from the DMV. They say they're sending text messages demanding payment for supposed traffic violations. They're said to be threatening and to suspend people's licenses and impose additional legal penalties. The Sheriff's Office says neither the DMV nor the Sheriff's Office will ever text you about traffic violations.
All right, let's send it over now to Chris Crocker with a look at that first alert forecast for us.
Oh, we have partly to mostly cloudy skies in Spokane right now, but some blue sky peeking out as well, and there'll be more of that tomorrow. Our sunset tonight is at 8:42. Nice and late. Our sunrise these days is in the 4 o'clock hour, which is a little early for some. Our temperatures right now in the 60s from Bonners Ferry all the way down through St. Mary's and into Moscow and Pullman. That cool temperature in Bonners Ferry is thanks to some clouds and a few showers. We're 70 in Colville right now, 71 in Spokane, and 76 degrees in Ritzville. Hour by hour, your Wednesday forecast after a morning low down in the 40s will be 54 at 7 o'clock, mid-60s by 10 o'clock with mostly sunny skies. Beautiful noon hour at 70 degrees into the mid-70s by the time the kids are getting out of school, on our way to a high of 77. Winds less than 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, 77 compares to an average high of 71, and our warming trend continues right on through most of the 7-day forecast. I'll tell you all about it in just a few minutes. Derek?
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Nearly 2 years ago, the Gray and Oregon Road fires tore through Spokane County, displacing hundreds of families. And today, many of them are still recovering. This is footage from 2023 of the Oregon Road fire in Elk, and this is what the town looks like today. With $44 million in grant funding, county officials are meeting with fire victims this week to identify unmet needs. We'll be at tonight's first meeting with Oregon Road fire survivors and share what gaps still exist tonight on Nightside, starting at 11. Well, a new law in Washington is making it easier for nonprofits to build affordable housing.
Senate Bill 5662 was signed into law, and it waives utility connection fees on any new affordable housing developments. Derek Strom spoke with local nonprofits about how this is going to help them.
You know, people aren't going to thrive or be successful if they don't have a roof over their head.
Utility connection fees have become much more expensive in Spokane over the last few years, and that makes it more difficult to develop affordable housing. But a new bill that was just signed into law aims to change that for local nonprofits.
Well, with projects and work that like Habitat does, we do home ownership. And so there's, one hookup per unit, and that would explode the cost of a project.
Senate Bill 5662 waives the cost of utility connection fees for groups like Habitat for Humanity. That saves them about $16,000 per home they build, and they can pass those savings on to the families moving into these homes.
Not only is it going to incentivize more housing providers like Habitat, but really any small developer is going to be able to tap into that. And boy, do we need to. We've got to build as many homes as fast as we can.
Habitat for Humanity says the cost of plugging a home like this one into local utilities has jumped by about 600% in recent years, and being able to waive those fees will make homes like this so much more affordable.
We have a desperate need, and we're not going to see the cost of home ownership, of rental prices going down unless we have more stock on the market in Washington State and in Spokane.
Other affordable housing groups estimate the new law could save larger multifamily complexes up to $100,000 in fees. Senator Marcus Riccelli originally sponsored this law, and he hopes to continue finding solutions to address the housing crisis.
Whether it be big ones like investing in our housing trust fund, through our capital budget, or whether it be through targeted strategies like making condo liability reform a top priority.
In Spokane, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
All right, former Gonzaga point guard Ryan Nembhard continues his NBA draft prep with a big workout today.
He's down in the Bay Area with the Golden State Warriors.
Nembhard has slowly just risen up these draft boards, and he spoke with us today about how meaningful a fit in San Francisco would be. Listen to his thoughts on the opportunity coming right up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Numerica Credit Union.
Jorge has always put the ones he loves first. But when it comes to caring for his teeth, he's let his own maintenance take a back seat. Well, maybe it's time to shift gears on that. Aspen Dental has complete, affordable care all under one roof. Plus, free exams and x-rays for new patients without insurance, and 20% off treatment plans for everyone. Making it easier to get started with quality care. It's one more way Aspen Dental is in your corner.
The pitch swung on and a high drive deep into left center field. Back on the ball goes Horning, and that ball's out of here.
Friday, June 6th, KXLY 4 News Now invites you to Avista Stadium for Storybook Princess and Fireworks Night. Your Northwest League champion Spokane Indians play the Hillsboro Hops. Get your picture taken with all your favorite Storybook characters, and we'll have fireworks after the game, courtesy of Mallory Paint Stores. For tickets, go to SpokaneIndians.com. Always free parking. Friday, June 6th, Storybook Princess and Fireworks Night. First pitch, 7:05, presented by KXLY 4 News Now.
I felt like there was just no answers to get out of the anxiety and the depression that I had.
I was suicidal
all the time, thinking about it nonstop, every day, every moment.
Depression and anxiety rob millions of us of our day-to-day lives, but nothing seems to pull you out of it. Introducing NeuroStim TMS, Washington's leading provider of transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS therapy. At NeuroStim TMS, we treat the root of the problem with a series of short daily treatments. Using a non-invasive magnetic field, TMS activates the natural function of the brain's neurotransmitters to improve mood and regulate emotion. TMS is not shock therapy. It's an FDA-approved, easy outpatient experience and covered by all major medical insurances.
There's nothing better than just being able to enjoy life again.
The treatment just completely, fundamentally changed my life.
Visit neurostimtms.com today or call to schedule your free consultation at any of our 12 Washington state locations.
92.9 CCU.
Save now with Buy Mart's latest savings book. Watch for it in your mailbox this week. Fran's Donuts and sandwich bread are 2 for $5. 28-ounce Gatorades are just 4 for $5. Home with a $5 lifetime membership. Buy Mart since 1955.
The nation's assist leader, Gonzaga senior Ryan Nembhard, this guy, now entering the trek to the NBA, hopefully one day joining his brother Andrew at the top of the world's best league. And he worked out with the Golden State Warriors today. Perhaps could be his new home. The star point guard was electric for Gonzaga in his final collegiate season, including a record-tying 16-assist outing against San Francisco. You're watching right here. Played right in the Warriors' home arena, Chase Center, just a few months ago. Nembhard further impressed at the NBA Combine drills. He shot 73%. That's the third best among all shooters. He spoke with the media today about how he can fit into the Golden State franchise and what most excites him about playing in San Francisco.
It's great to be in a winning culture. Somewhere I could see myself and somewhere I could see myself helping the team win and succeed. So good to be back in San Fran. I always like being playing in San Fran. I don't think I've ever lost out here, so it's been fun.
Love the confidence there from Ryan. Another former Zag, Ben Gregg, also working out with the Portland Trailblazers today. We'll see where Gregg and Nembhard could end up in the NBA draft, which you can watch right here on ABC June 25th. Known for his high-flying blocks and big presence down low in the mid-2000s, Gonzaga teams, JP Batista mostly spent his pro career overseas, winning championships from Latvia to France. Since 2022, the big fella earned a graduate assistant role with the Gonzaga men's team, and just last week, he transitioned to the head strength and conditioning coach with the women's side. We caught up with the former WCC Rookie of the Year on his excitement in this new role.
Playing for Gonzaga, and it's full circle, man. Just 20 years later, coming back, I was always super curious about performance, how to extend my career, and always super diligent with my nutrition. So I always had a passion for that side of the sport.
Batista also spoke with us about how his approach differs between the women's and the men's team, as he's worked with athletes from both teams the past couple seasons. Stay tuned for 4 News Now Nightside and on KXLY.com for more on our interview. The Mariners wrapping up their homestand this week against the Baltimore Orioles, a team that has tumbled to the bottom of the AL East standings. That honeymoon run for them not looking good now. Seattle salvaged their weekend series against Minnesota with back-to-back walk-off wins, which I was at one of them, pretty crazy, and would love to clinch their first 3-game series win against the O's since 3 years ago. First pitch underway, highlights coming up nightside. Spokane Indians also starting their home series tonight. They face the Northwest League leading Hillsboro Hops. Tonight's the first of 6 games of the top 2 teams in the league all over at Avista Stadiums. These highlights also on Nightside. So one more note on Ryan today. We want to stick around 4 News Now Nightside to hear how conversations with his brother Andrew have gone. Talking to him with all this, he's off to the finals of the Pacers. It is a pretty good time to be a Nembhard.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I was thinking, too, it must be pretty cool for Ben Gregg because he went to high school in the Portland area to be working out with the Blazers. So, all right, Jack, thank you so much. Well, if you feel like you're constantly receiving scam calls, texts, or emails, you are certainly not alone. According to a new survey, an overwhelming majority are targeted by scammers every week.
CNN's Ivan Rodriguez explains the common tactics they're using and how to protect yourself.
It really is an incredible number. A new survey finds 96% of Americans receive at least one scam message each week. An expert I spoke with says that it's concerning, but unfortunately not surprising.
If you're checking your email every day, chances are you'll see a subject line that might make you raise a brow.
Right away, I'm thinking to myself, is this something that I've been expecting?
According to a CNET survey, 96% of U.S. adults receive at least one scam email, text, or phone call each week. 90% say they get scam emails on a weekly basis. CNET station Milden says the scam calls and texts are surging too.
My phone rings constantly, and that's at 83%, still very high, followed by text messages, of course, at 82%.
In 2024 alone, U.S. adults reported losing a collective whopping $470 million in those sneaky text scams, according to the Federal Trade Commission. Milden says fraudsters have gotten so good at crafting their messages and creating a sense of urgency that people need to stay vigilant, especially on phone calls.
If you don't know who that person is after you have said hello, don't say anything further, hang up. And the reason why I say that is so important is because artificial intelligence has evolved to where scammers are actually able to clone your voice and your responses to unfortunately use those for scams later.
Aside from following basic internet safety guidelines, such as not clicking unknown links and not answering unknown calls, Milden says there are other ways to keep criminals from impacting your finances.
Right now is a really good time to freeze your credit. So that way, if they happen to get access to your information, hey, your credit's already frozen.
Milden also suggests identity theft protection. Although it won't keep you from falling for a scam, at least you'll be alerted in case you do. Now, last month, the FBI issued an alert warning the public about a malicious text and also a voice messaging campaign involving scammers who were impersonating senior U.S. officials to target people, including former or current government officials. In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Here's a look at your Wednesday forecast. We're heading up to a high of 77 degrees. 71 is our average high. Still pretty nice weather. Goldilocks, no complaints. Not too hot, not too cold, but it is going to get toasty in the 7-day. I'll explain after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
This is him. You need an eye exam. Wait weeks for an appointment? Now that's criminal.
Word on the street is at Stanton Optical, you don't have to wait for an eye exam. 2 pairs of glasses and a free eye exam for $79 all same day. Stanton Optical, easy as our thing.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. But they all just fade away. But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
You'll love Yachtly Crew, a 7-piece SoCal band who has started a nationwide yacht rock craze. Live at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, July 3rd. George Thorogood and the Destroyers bring their roof-shaking rock party to the Coeur d'Alene Casino live Thursday, July 31st. Winter Music Nashville's multi-platinum star Gabby Barrett is an unstoppable force in country music and will be live at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, August 14th. Visit the Coeur d'Alene Casino box office or cdacasino.com for tickets.
Winning is just the beginning.
It's a brave face we put on. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. Don't want to be any trouble. But sometimes we're not fine. Because getting older isn't all smiles and birthday parties. Sometimes it's facing the fact that we're human and we're aging. And you know what? That can be pretty hard. If you need a little support or just want to talk to someone, 988 is here for you. Anywhere, anytime. Call 988.
4 News Now and STCU are recognizing volunteers who make a difference in our community. Today we honor Cindy Parker. She manages the My Bag program, which provides everyday necessities for children whose families have abused or neglected them.
Cindy is a devoted volunteer, helping hundreds of children get the essentials they need as they transition into foster care.
I see the backpacks on the shelf ready to go, and it's very satisfying to know that we're here helping those kids.
Thanks to STCU for helping make sure volunteers count.
At Stanton, get a 1-month supply of Clarity One Day for only $69. Plus a free contact lens eye exam. That's a whole lot of savings. That is our best deal yet. Book your eye exam today. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
4 News Now is brought to you by Gamma Knife.
I bet the neighbors are starting to talk about sprinkler systems too. We were just chatting about
For
the
sure.
dry grass.
Especially with this stretch of warm weather coming up.
Yes, and we are running below average on our precipitation, and you know the fire season is really knocking on the door, so we could use some. We've obviously no precipitation in Spokane today. There were a few sprinkles in some of the higher terrain, and now our year to date we are running almost 1.5 inches behind our average, which would be a little over 8 inches. This is the percent of precipitation compared to average over the past 30 days. And as you can see, we are extremely dry across the region. Only a couple of exceptions. Bonners Ferry, 109% of average, and I don't know what's going on. And the Tri-City had a couple of good thunderstorm days that really beefed up their precipitation total there. But otherwise, we are in the neighborhood of half of what we would expect to be right around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. The U.S. Drought Monitor that is issued every Thursday still does not have Spokane in the dry region, but Coeur d'Alene is all the way up through Bonners Ferry in the unusually dry conditions and down into the sacred wheat fields of the Palouse. This area that is in the brown means it is in a state of moderate drought. Thankfully, the Columbia Basin, not yet designated, but things are drying out quickly. Here's a look at month by month our precipitation so far this year. And April has been the real loser with just over 1/2 inch of precipitation, but it wasn't great in May. We didn't even get 1 inch of rain, and our average is over 1.5 inches. January, February, and March were not too bad. In fact, February was above average for precipitation. January and March just a little bit below. So hopefully we'll get to turn things around a little bit as we really get into our fire season. So far, no precipitation in June, but we've got a lot of the month to make up. Now, here is our 8 to 14 day forecast from the Climate Prediction Center, and there is just a whisper of hope that we are going to see above average precipitation. It is in the lightest of green, and a good chunk of the Palouse and the Central Panhandle not included in that green. Meanwhile, high temperatures, we're in that gray as well, so leaning toward above average, but it is not a slam dunk. The forecast for the next 7 days, however, quite obviously no sign of precipitation, and that very, very hot weather starting Saturday and continuing through next week. Friday, we may need to talk about fire danger. Winds picking up in the central part of the state may have firefighters on heightened alert, and it is going to be a hot graduation weekend, Derek.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, school is almost out for summer break, which means Summer Reading Club is back.
Yeah, the Spokane Public Library Club is for both kids and adults. All you have to do is sign up and start reading. And when you read at least 15 days each month this summer, you can win 3 prizes. Kids can win everything from free books to USL soccer tickets, and adults can win gift cards to local businesses.
It's an opportunity to connect. It's an opportunity to connect with yourself, with the community through reading. You have the opportunity to learn more and win prizes too.
This summer, Spokane Public Library has multiple events and camps for every age group. So if you're trying to beat the heat, your family can also enjoy the indoor play spaces at the library. For more information, visit our website, kxly.com. And June means we are almost halfway through 2025. So now's a good time to make sure that you're on track to hit your financial goals.
ABC's Christian Cordero has tips to help keep you on track.
We are almost halfway through 2025, and experts say now is a good time to check in on your financial goals.
I think a lot of people, set goals for themselves at the beginning of the year. And, life changes, things happen, and you've got 6 months under your belt to really see how things are different than what you expected.
Start by reviewing the goals you made at the beginning of the year. Make sure they're realistic. If you've had any major financial changes like a big car repair or life changes like a baby on the way, revise your goals to reflect your current priorities. Review your budget by comparing your actual income and spending to what you projected in January and evaluate where you can make changes.
Take a look at that list of subscriptions that you have and maybe, clear some of those out. Do you have credit cards? Do you have personal loans? Do you have student debt? Where are you going to prioritize your payments to make sure that you're making progress?
If your current debt strategy isn't working, consider refinancing options like a debt consolidation loan.
Oftentimes you can take debt that feels unmanageable because it's across, for example, a bunch of different credit cards at different rates, different minimum payments, bring that into one loan, have it in one spot, fixed rate, and really put yourself on a budget to be able to manage that debt down over time.
Consider rebalancing your investment portfolio if your allocations have drifted due to market changes. And assess your emergency fund. If your savings are below target, create a plan to steadily increase contributions.
I think it is important to prioritize having an emergency savings set aside. We often see as a good rule of thumb 3 to 6 months of living expenses.
No matter how the first half of the year is going, you can reset your game plan for the next 6 months. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
All right, and before we head to our final break, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup for your Tuesday night.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Close encounter with an accused serial killer. The dude who sat next to her on a train. Wait till you see who the beer-guzzling creep turned out to be. Next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
If you want to shine this summer and say goodbye to that winter weight, then this is the perfect time to join Move Fitness for almost $1 a day to get your body sculpted for the swimsuit season.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions. Home to possibility and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Water is an essential part of our everyday lives. It's important that Spokane acts wisely to preserve our precious water resources and not waste money on evaporation and the need for supplemental water infrastructure due to a burdened aquifer. Please avoid watering your lawn between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. and limit watering to under 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. If we all do our part, we'll keep our river flowing strong, even in times of drought.
Bathfitter showers have got people talking. Our wide selection of showers means it's exactly what we wanted. Seamless and watertight walls are much easier to clean than tiles and grout. And they stay in excellent shape. Every Bathfitter shower is backed by a lifetime warranty. And with thousands of 5-star reviews, the experience exceeds expectations. It's no wonder millions of Bathfitter customers love their new shower. It just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
With fresh looks arriving monthly, there's always something new to love at Furniture Row. Like the Yukon reclining leather sectional. Draped in top grain leather with a multifunctional console, the Yukon is the pinnacle of power reclining comfort. Or dine on the meadow lake. With a rounded edge top and eye-catching turned legs, this farmhouse-inspired set marries nostalgia and durability. And for your bedroom, the glamour. With sparkling LED-lit rhinestones, this upholstered bed creates a sophisticated glam sleeping sanctuary. Find the latest looks and more now at Furniture Row.
4 News Now is brought to you by Parker Toyota.
All right, coming up tonight on Nightside, it is cottonwood season in the inland Northwest, and experts say now is the time to check your HVAC unit. We'll tell you how to protect your air conditioning unit from expensive damage tonight on Nightside starting at 11.
You're going to need that air conditioner, so I think a good idea to stay up and watch because we are heading into the 90s and even the upper 80s on Saturday. It's graduation weekend for many students, and there's a lot of outdoor activities. Good news, you don't need to get a rain tent or anything like that for your backyard graduation barbecues, but it is going to be toasty.
Yeah, because you just never know this time of year.
Absolutely.
It's different every year. Thanks for joining us. See you on Nightside.